We continue learning workbook page 198 with this example problem. Let's try graphing a logarithm where the base is a fraction. Graph g of x equals log base 1/3 of x. The method is going to be exactly the same as the previous two problems. So whatever your base is, that's going to go over here in the blue box of your thinking space. 1/3. The exponents in your thinking space, we get to choose, and we always choose the same numbers. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. All right, so now all we have to do is figure out what are the x values. We have to evaluate each one of these. Since these are just a little bit harder, we're going to go through them slowly, and we're going to go through all 5 of them. Let's work from bottom to top like we have in the previous problems. 1/3 squared. 1/3 squared means 1/3 times a second 1/3. The rule for multiplying fractions is to multiply across the numerators to get the new numerator. 1 times 1 is 1. And multiply across the denominators to get the new denominators. 3 times 3 is 9. So our x value is 1/9. All right, let's do the next one. 1/3 to the first power. Anything to the first power is itself. So we get 1/3. Next, 1/3 to the 0 power. Any non-zero number raised to a 0 power is 1. So we get 1. Next one, 1/3 raised to the -1 power. Well, let's use our exponent rule that allows us to flip the fraction if we want to change the sign of the exponent. This is the same as 3/1 to the +1. And now we can simplify. 3/1 is just 3, and when you raise it to the first power, it's still 3. So this is a 3. And then finally, 1/3 to the -2 is the same thing as 3/1 to the +2, which is 3 squared, which is 9. So there's our x values. Now when it comes to getting our y values, it's just as easy as it was in the previous two problems. All we have to do is use this value for y, but let's show why it works. And let's do that with this one right here. So we know that g of x is the same thing as y. So we get y equals log base 1/3 of x. If x equals 1, then we get y equals log base 1/3 of 1. Log is the same as EGOB, so y is the exponent that goes on base 1/3 to make 1. What does this have to be to make the equation true? 0, because any non-zero number raised to the 0 power gives you 1. The missing exponent is 0. Therefore, the log is 0. Therefore, y is 0. Notice that this matches this. That tells me the pattern to fill in my entire y table. Okay, so now I've got all of my points. All I have to do is create the graph. Let's begin. Y-axis, x-axis. My x's go out as far as 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I stop at 10, then I have plenty of room for everything. My y's go from -2 to 2. And now I can plot my points. Let's begin. All right, 9, -2 would be about here. 3, -1 would be about here. 1, 0 would be here. X is 1/3. Well, just like the previous problem, that would be approximately that location. So 1/3, 1 would be this. 1/9 would be even closer to the y-axis, which would be this. And our asymptote is the y-axis itself. So the orange dots approach but never reach the green dashed line. Connect the dots together, and this gives us our graph. This is the graph of y equals log base 1/3 of x.